Okay, let's get going here. I think we're recording. Yep, good. So today we're looking at comparing rational numbers, part 2. First of all, let's focus on irrational numbers and what is an irrational. Irrationals are such things like root 2, root 19. These things go on forever. They have no end. They're what we call infinite numbers. Okay, so what are rational numbers then? Rational numbers have a whole range. They're everything you know. They are whole numbers. For example, 7. They are integers. So maybe it's like -4. And the definition of a rational is basically you can turn it into a fraction. So I can turn those two numbers into fractions. What's 7 as a fraction? 7 over what?
1.
7 over 1. What about -4 as a fraction? -4 over 1. Now, we also have decimals, and we can take our decimals, and any decimal we can make into a fraction. So if I have 0.4, that is 4/10. Okay? So you can make it into a fraction. The place value of the decimal is tenths. We're going to cover that again. We looked at it yesterday. That's really important. So decimals are also rationals. Now for decimals, we also have two special rules. Number one, in order to convert the decimal to a fraction, it must stop. So for example, 0.75 stops or terminates. Terminates the fancy name for stop. Sometimes you'll hear that word instead of stop, terminate. The other thing, other than terminating, is it can repeat. So for example, 0.3 repeating, that is a rational number because the fraction is 1/3. There's a few other repeating fractions as well, and we'll cover some of them in a second. Okay. So looking at our options for the first question, it says circle the rational numbers. Which of these are rational? -4. Is that rational? Why? Well, it's an integer. It's not a whole number. Whole numbers aren't negatives. It's an integer, and you can make it as a fraction. -4 over 1. So circle it because it's rational. What about 8 over 7? Can you make 8 over 7 a fraction? Yeah, it already is, of course. What about 0.6 repeating? What is that as a fraction? No, it's repeating, so it's definitely rational. It definitely is. And the fraction is 2/3. We looked at that one yesterday. So 0.3 repeating is 1/3. 0.6 repeating is 2/3. That's a good pattern to notice. What about pi? No, it goes forever. It's not rational. It's irrational. Oh, 5.2. What is that as a fraction? Well, the whole number is 5, so it's a mixed fraction. And what's the place value of the 2? Tenths. So it is 2/10. Okay. So we're going to be doing that a lot, converting decimals to fractions. It's a very, very important skill. Good. So, converting decimals to fractions. Here we go. The place value tells you the denominator. So what's the place value of the first decimal? Tenths. Please write this down. I know it. You need to memorize it. Place value of the second one? Hundredths. There is a D in there. And then a THS. And what about the last one? Thousandths. So 1,000 with a THS. Thousandths. What do you think's after thousandths? No, 10 thousandths. and then hundred thousandths. Most of us, we're just going to go to thousandths, sometimes doing 10,000ths. Okay? Now, if you have a whole number, then you're going to get a mixed fraction. Okay. All right. So let's try this. 0.9. Can you please say that with the place value? 9 what? 9/10. So once you say the place value, 9/10, it's easy to go to the fraction. What's the place value? 25 hundredths. So your first step is 25 hundredths. Is that okay? Well, it's okay, but it's not good or great. What would be good or great? Yeah, dividing by what? On both the top and the bottom. So that equals 1/4. So we want to go to lowest terms. We want to make sure we reduce. Next one, what kind of fraction are we going to write? A mixed. 1 and 4/10. Now that's okay, but it's not good or great. What should we do? Divide by 2. Anytime you have both even numerator and denominator, always divide by 2. We get 2/5. Any questions? Okay. Yep. Mercedes. Shh. Yep.
Why does it go straight to tenths? Why isn't there a
I have absolutely no idea. Yeah, it's just that's the place value of our number system. Yeah, I'm not sure why. Sorry. Okay, next one. What kind of fraction we're going to get? Mixed. Go ahead, do D and do E. Go ahead, do D and E. Go. Iqbal. I said do D and E, not talk to Sahib. Yes, that's recorded. I'm going to play it to for your parents. Colvier, what's D?
simplified or is it
Unsimplified first.
2 over 2, 5, 1?
Good. And then simplified. Thanks, Colvier. E, who's got it? Hands up. Iqbal, redeem yourself. Yep. 31 over 10,000. Good. Can you reduce it all? No. Okay. And 31's an odd number, so usually then you can't, but you should check stuff. Okay? Any questions? Now, we encounter and talk about positive and negative numbers all the time. So in your textbook, you're going to have some common scenarios, and you have to tell me what's the best way to represent that number. For example, if you live in the 41st floor of a high-rise tower and you're 100 meters off the ground, would that be a positive or negative 100? Positive. But maybe you went down into a mine and you're 500 meters below the Earth's surface. What kind of number would that be? Negative. So those are the types of situations we're going to talk about. Read the question A. Underline the important information. 3 strokes under par is important. All the rest you could cross off, although the golf course gives you an idea of what he's doing. So what would you recommend for the number? 3 strokes under par. Negative 3. Okay. He's below par. It's negative. B. What do you think? Any ideas? Positive. Why? Yeah, it's heat and temperature, and that's above 0. Okay. So it should definitely be a plus 40.6 degrees. Now I don't know if it's Celsius or Fahrenheit, so I'm just going to leave it. Okay. What about that loser, Gurpreet? He lost money, so he's got to be a loser. Yeah, since he lost it, it's got to be a negative $20. Okay, so he's down 20. Poor Gurpreet. Okay. What we're going to do now is pause there, and we're going to go to the very bottom on the back. Yeah. We're going to convert improper to mixed and mixed to improper. Let's start with this one right here, mixed to improper. So what we have is 5 1/4. Who can describe what that means? What does our 5 mean? Simeon? Yeah, there's 5 groups of 4. So to figure out the value of that, it's a multiplication. 5 times 4, which equals 20. And then we can combine the 20 with the 21. Sorry, 20 plus the 1. So then we have a total of 21 over 4. So 5 groups of 4, we multiply. So B, what do we multiply? 5 times 6, which equals 30. And what do we add? Plus 5. So what's the fraction? Is it improper? 35 over 6. Complete C, please don't call it the answer. Complete C, please don't call it the answer. Ben, what'd you get? Well, do it. Chloe? How'd you get that? Good. So 5 times 9, and then add the 2. 47 over 9. So now we're going to go the other direction. It gets a little trickier. So you have to remove groups. Here we're removing groups of 4. How many can we remove? How many groups of 4? 1. Okay, so, and then we would subtract the groups. Okay, so 7 minus 4, 3 over 4. Try B and C now, please. Do B and C. Remove some groups and see what's remaining. So I see some people using their calculators. I don't mind using your calculator to help you with some of the multiplying or adding, but don't just use your ABC button, because we're going to be doing this fraction skills with letters, and then you need to know the process. So in your mind, it's the process that you need to really understand. Not just punch it into the calculator like a monkey, because monkeys don't do well in Math 10. You need to understand the process, okay? Be smart. So use it to help you. So I'd say, oh, I can take out 3 groups. So then 3 times 8 equals 24. And maybe on my calculator then I just need a bit of help. 30 minus 24 is 6. And a lot of you are going, oh, I got to reduce lowest terms. So then divide by what? 2, both the top and the bottom. And you get 3 over 4. Okay. Well, the last one. How many groups can you take out? Rhea. Did you get that one yet? Either yes or no, not a shoulder shrug. No. Colin? No. You haven't asked yet. Sip? Good. So you can take out 4 groups of 7, which is 28. So we subtract 29 minus 28, 4 1/7. Any questions? Hey, not appropriate time to talk, guys. No, you're both doing it. Not appropriate, all right? Iqbal, yes. Hey. What? Oh, I thought you had your hand up. Okay. Watch negative signs. So when you're converting, you must ignore negative signs when converting. It's just the value of overall value of the fraction. It has nothing to do with converting. So when we're converting this guy, I only focus what I just circled. I want to ignore the negative sign. So I'll start with a negative sign, but I won't do any math with it. So I will simply go positive 2 times 4 equals 8. 8 plus positive 3 equals 11. No negative signs are involved. Okay, so you ignore them when you're converting. Please convert B and C. Go. Ignore the negative signs when converting. This is brand new for you guys. You haven't done this yet. This is grade 9 work here. Okay, so what's the answer for here? It's positive 5 times 5 equals 25 plus the 3, 28. So it's negative 28 over 5, but the negative sign's not involved in the conversion. For C, the negative sign's not involved in the conversion. I can move one group of 10 and 3 is remaining. Do not involve negative signs in your conversions. Any questions? Great little review of fraction skills. You need to do these without calculators. And you will be. Yes?
So it's like if 2 is negative, wouldn't the 3 be negative 2?
Which question are we talking about here? A? Sorry, which one? A. Yeah, I mean, you could do this, but it's just weird to do that. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of weird to do that. Yeah, come on in. What you got? Oh, thanks. I knew that. What kind? Is it like...
Wait, do you want the bin or just the bag?
I'll just take the bag. That'll be easy for me. Again, what is it?
Celery.
Was it?
Yeah.
Celery? Boo. Okay. Any questions? So yeah, I wouldn't write it with the 3. Okay. All right, let's go up here. Back here, back here. So now that we just practiced all our fraction skills, which one does not equal negative 2 and 4/10? The first thing we should do is simplify this, please. It is not simplified, so reduce to lowest terms. Go. So it will be negative 2 and 2/5. Okay. I highly encourage you to write the negative sign in front of the mixed number because you don't forget it, easy to see. All right. So A, please convert that one. Let's see what we get. Convert A, please. Go. What about B? Is B proper? No, the 7 can have another group of 5 removed. So B is not a correctly written mixed fraction. So fix A, fix B, do that now, go. So A, when you reduce, when you convert it, it's the same. B, you ignore your negative sign. You can take out one more group from the 7, so you have a total of 2 groups of 5, and then you have 2/5 remaining. So B is also equal. What about C? I mean, do we even have to convert that? Remember, fractions are divisions. So really we have a negative minus, divided by a negative. What kind of answer are we going to get? Positive. So man, if you did anything with C, you did too much work. There's no way C can be equal because C is actually a positive fraction. It's actually positive 24 over 10 when you simplify your negative signs. What's your question?
How is B 2 equal to 1?
Well, because you have 7 over 5, which means you can take out another whole group of 5. Okay, but there's already a 1 up front, so that's why it becomes a 2. Okay, last one. How many negative signs do you see? 3 negative signs overall. So your final answer then would be negative. So we get negative 48 over 20. And I encourage you to write your negative sign up top so you don't make a long sign like that. I see this a lot. Don't do that. Okay, reduce it now, please. Reduce it. That might be equal. We don't know yet. You can take out 2 groups of 20. Oh, it's not the same. Look, it's negative 2 and 8 over 20. It's not the same. Huh? What? Oh, you're right. See, I didn't reduce. Because I have 2 even numbers, I should have seen that, shouldn't have I? What can I divide by? 4. You guys are brilliantly smart. Negative 2 and 2 over 5. So D is also a correct answer. Make sure you focus, pay attention to this. I know, no, you're starting to look over there. Don't get distracted. No, I believe you. I still don't want you to get distracted though. Self-control. Okay, negative signs and fractions. So let's double check this stuff. This is important. A negative sign can be written anywhere in the fraction. But to figure out the value, it helps to remember that a fraction is a division of two integers. So we have negative 1 over 4. That is equal to 1 over negative 4. And it's also equal to negative 1 over 4. Those are the three locations of the negative sign. Which one's the best?
Third one?
Nope. This is the best. This is the worst. You know why that's the worst? Because people always forget about the negative sign, and that's why it's the worst. This one is not, this one's okay, but you gotta watch out for what? This, right? The long fraction line combined, that's a common mistake. So try and avoid that. All right. Now, here we have negative 1 over 4 versus 1 over negative 4. The textbook gets a little weird here. What they're saying here is with the denominator, this one is smaller and this one is larger. But the which is kind of a weird thing, but it's good to recognize that. Overall, the fraction's the same though. Okay, overall the fraction's the same. Any questions about negative signs? The last one we looked at was this guy, negative 3 over 8. What is that, negative 8? What does that really equal? Negative 3 over 8. But if I have two of them, like negative 5 over negative 7, what does that equal? Positive 5 over 7. So this is what we're going to talk about. You got to make sure you simplify. Okay, you want to double check and see the overall value of that fraction. Oh, that window closes up. Any questions? Self-control. Okay, let's go down here then. So which fraction is not within the given range? So for this one, you could convert these ones into fractions and then double check with a common denominator. A lot of work. What would be easier? Yeah, take these, turn them into decimals. Ha ha ha. Okay, let's go. Convert those into decimals, please. So we go 78 divided by 10. And so we're going to get negative 7.8 because of the negative sign. So we just do a quick division to convert it to a decimal. Now, what would you guys say? Higher, lower, in between? Yeah, negative signs. Okay, so 0 will be over here, and negative 7.8 will be further away, so it's going to be lower. Okay. B, convert it, please. Higher, lower, in between? Higher. Okay, it's above. Okay. What about C? Above or below? Yeah. Why did I waste my time with the calculator? Why would I even waste my time? Yeah, exactly. It's like crazy high. It's like way over here. Because of the double negative signs equaling a positive fraction, this one's definitely above. It's higher. Okay, above or higher, whichever one you want to use. D, try that one. Negative 7.6. Yeah, in between. Okay. All right. So this last one here, or close to the last one, identify the fractions and lowest terms that are between 4 and 5. And 8 is the denominator. So really what it's saying is the distance is broken into 8s. So let's just, I'm going to do this two ways for you. First of all, here's 4, and here is 5. Let's first of all break that into halves. How many pieces are there? Self-control. There's 2 pieces. Okay? So this here would be 4 and what? Okay. Then what we're going to do is divide this into half again. How many pieces are there now? Count. How many pieces do you see? Right, there's 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I broke this into quarters. So this would be 4 and 1/4, 4 and 2/4, 4 and 3/4, 4 and 4 would be 5. Okay. Now break it into halves again. So each piece needs to be halved one more time. Please count and actually touch the individual pieces so you don't get it wrong. How many pieces are there? 8. So this would be 4 and what? 1/8. This would be 4 and what? 4 and 3/8. 4 and 4/8. 4 and 5/8. 4 and 6/8. Whoops, that looks like 46. Let me fix that. 4 and 7/8. So now you can see you have all these equivalent fractions. And you have all these equivalent fractions and these equivalent fractions. The question wants the lowest terms, so the lowest terms would be all of these. Now you didn't have to start that way. You could have started with 4, and then you could have gone 1/8, 4 and 2/8, 4 and 3/8, 4 and 4/8, 4 and 5/8, 4 and 6/8, 4 and 7/8, and then 4 and 8/8. Oh, what's 8/8? What would that be?
5.
Good, so this here would be 5. Is that in between? No, it's not in between, so we would just leave that, okay? So those are your answers there, and then you could just put them in lowest terms. 4 and 1/4, 4 and 1/2, 4 and 3/4. So you could have done it that way as well. Alright. But you need to know what fractions are. It's the pieces of the whole puzzle broken up. Alright? Any questions? Okay. 2 more real quick. We're going to go this one pretty quickly. So give an example of a fraction in the lowest terms that satisfies this, between 0 and -1. So give me a fraction, any fraction. 1/2. Something a little bit more fun, please. You know, it's extremely rude to have your earpiece in while I'm talking, Calder. Thank you. So what was the last fraction you said? 3/4? Okay. So anything, this would be any proper fraction is going to be between 0 and 1. So then any proper fraction between 0 and -1 that's negative is going to be there. It's going to be the opposite. Okay. Now here though, the numerator is positive, sorry, the denominator is positive, the numerator is negative. So what you would do, what the textbook wants you to do, is just put your negative sign to the denominator. So when you get this weird question, it's not making sense, look at your notes and follow your example. This is what they're looking for. Just having the negative sign in the denominator. I really don't like the question that much, but it's something to think about. So that's why I've assigned it. So what's in between these two? Negative 2 and 2.4 and negative 2.5. What are some numbers in between there? Negative 2.45. Yeah, it's a lot higher, but what's one just a little bit higher? Sorry, a little bit lower. It's 4.1. Negative 2.42. What's your question? Tell me what. Negative 2.43. Negative 2.44. Negative 2.45. All of those are in between those two numbers. Now, all you got to do is convert one of them. Which one do you want to convert? Ben, pick one. Sure. Good one to pick because you can't reduce it. So convert that to a denominator, please. Sorry, to a fraction. Idiot. 2 and what? 47 over 100. Now what they want is the denominator to be smaller, so where do they want the negative sign? In the bottom. Now personally I'd never write it there because you're going to forget about it, but that's what the textbook wants for their answer. Okay. So those two are kind of some weird questions, but they do have some valid points with coming up with fractions. And that's the only reason why I assigned them. Any questions? Yep. Okay. All right, so your homework after the quiz, your homework is some textbook work, which is listed on your unit outline, as well as this bedmass question. Please write the odds on there, okay? I only want you to do the odds for the bedmass. So it's about 10 questions. Natheel, now's the time to write down odds before you screw that up. It's not the time to talk.